about the extremely stupid retard rule in the comedy world about not being able to wear shorts. What a dumb hand job rule that is. We're also going to talk about a girl I've recently discovered who is no longer with us, who, you want to talk about that Michael Keaton kid or that little Tennessee kid who's got all the beatings because he's running around calling black kids by the N-word. Guess what? You start calling them shit like that and they're going to beat you up. But you want to talk about someone who was bullied. Let's talk about my girl, August Ames, who unfortunately took her life this week because she was bullied on social media because she didn't want to fuck a gay guy. Real progressive, real way to be tolerant left. Good job. Also, Daniel Shaver. I got to be honest, I've watched that video a few times. I don't know if it's the most despicable thing I've ever seen or the biggest fake thing I've ever seen. We're going to get into that. Also, we're going to talk about, I wanted to talk about it last week, but we're going to talk about it this week. The Punisher on Netflix was just phenomenal. But we're going to get into that and what I thought of that, which, basically I just told you I thought it was phenomenal, so I don't know what else I can say. But we'll figure it out. Also, let's see. We're going to have Alpha Male and Alpha Female of the Week. Also, Would You or Wouldn't You? And let's see who else is watching. Frank is watching. Doc's now. And my girl Sue is watching. What's going on, Susie Q? I'm sure the kids are beating you up at the moment, but let them watch me on TV. Maybe they'll shut up for 5 minutes. Or they'll just yell at me the whole time. Either way, they'll leave you alone. Because your kids are, let's face it, your kids are a little insane. And let's see, I'm still writing down notes because I'm, again, behind because of the traffic in New Jersey, which, quite frankly, is the most annoying part about New Jersey. And there are a lot of annoying things in New Jersey. But that's all right. I'm almost there, so, I'm just trying to do filler stuff so I don't forget people while I'm doing this. But let's start with greedy corporations. Unfortunately, my boss isn't tuning in because I wanted to yell at him specifically. And don't get me wrong, I hope he listens to this because I like Mike. Mike is a great guy. I won't give his last name. But he knows who he is, and I love him to pieces. He's really a good guy. He's got a good heart. I just think he's a little too corporate-oriented, and I don't think that's his fault. I think, our company's being bought out by a company that's called Beacon. So I think he's just trying to do as much as he can. Hi, Darlene. Hey, Steve. What's going on, gang? Good to see you guys here. Yeah, my boss is a good guy. I don't have any animosity towards him other than the fact that a few times this week I wished him to get run over by a gaggle of elephants. But, other than that, he falls into the category, and again, it's not his fault. He's middle management. He's just trying to save his job. But I managed to get laid off this week, which is, it's understandable in my business. Every year, the roofing and siding business gets slow around this time of year, except, of course, when it's 18 degrees out and the wind's whipping all over the place, and I had to spend the whole day outside freezing my butts off. And yes, as fat as I am, I have more than one butt. So what I'm saying is I get that they have to lay people off, but they laid me off, and I have a certain amount of vacation time, enough that would have covered me until Christmas. And in a true Scrooge-like move, they backed my layoff up one day so I wouldn't get paid for Christmas. Who knows if this new company is going to bring us back? We don't have a lot of input on what's going on. We haven't heard a lot about what's going on with the new company. But we do know that we're still getting laid off, and guys are getting their heads chopped just before Christmas. Way to go, Mark. Way to go. Mark's a different boss. Him I'll call out because he doesn't even know who the hell I am. He could be sitting right next to me and he wouldn't know who I am. I could punch him in the jaw. And he would be like, who just punched me in the face? When he woke up an hour later, the sissy Mary. Thank you for sharing, Darlene. I appreciate that. Let's get as many people watching this as possible so we can bash my company a little bit. They're laying me off after tomorrow, so what do I care? But here's the problem. I've heard a lot. I've been reading on Facebook, Twitter, everything else, every other form of social media in between all the crap. And everyone is screaming that trickle-down economics does not work. I want to disagree to a certain extent because, you know what? If you put the money in the hands of the people who have to pay you, the money should come down and everyone should be getting their fair share. The problem is these corporations aren't trickling down at a reasonable rate. Nobody can keep up with their bills. Everyone is highly in debt. You got this bogus credit score system that keeps people down and tries to keep people in line. People can't afford to pay their bills. They're not paying their bills because they don't want to. There's just not enough money to go around for the cost of everything. The cost of living is way down, and I kind of lean towards a conservative on a lot of issues. I think abortion is it's definitely murder, but then again, if I knock up my secretary and I'm at work and I'm looking at my wife and 3 kids to throw me out of the house, and I'm going to lose my home, my car, and I'm going to be living off some friend's couch, eating off a hot plate, I'm pushing that bitch down a flight of stairs. But, that's me. I agree, Darlene. It does suck to lay people off this time of year. It's a horrible, horrible thing. It just goes to show how the almighty dollar is more important than people. And that's truly where the problems in this country have come. The money is definitely more important than people. Companies used to invest in their employees. They used to invest in people. And people would go, don't mind Gene, that's just him making ass signs in the giant moon they have over here.
Sorry.
Look at the size of your ass in that thing.
Sorry.
I'm looking at the screen right there. My
Is that
God.
big? Is it that big?
What do you want me to do? Tell you it's all little and cute?
Holy crap, look at how big that ass is.
That's me, by the way. It's not your ass, it's me. I'm the orange one. I'm the one who's the sun. Yeah, but to lay people off this time of year it's just out and out despicable, and to do things so that you're not paying people for the holiday. Unemployment takes at least a month to kick in, and you guys aren't. I wish my boss was here because I'd much rather bash him on the radio, where he can't punch me in the face when I yell at him, but he's going to listen to this because I'm going to send him a text message and yell at him, tell him he's got to listen to this. Because I do want him to know I love him to death. I don't dislike him. I understand why he's doing what he's doing. And I also understand his hands are tied, but the readjusting of the layoff, pushing it back one day, so me and the other guy who are getting laid off doesn't get paid for Christmas. You're pretty much Scrooge here. You're Bill Murray, without the personality. You're Bill Murray. So, congratulations, Michael. And Mark is next time he's in the building, call me, and when he's upstairs, I'll push him down a flight of stairs because him I'm not too worried about. But anyway, we're gonna move on. We're not gonna kill this all day. I've said my piece. I killed him on the Uncomfortably Funny podcast on Monday, and I'm going to continue to bring this up, and I'll probably bring it up on Animal House Radio tonight. Well, in Animal House Radio tonight, folks, just so you know, we're interviewing the great Joe Montana tonight, so stay tuned for that after my show. But we're going to go into something that I have a major issue with. And I had a promoter tell me this week that I'm not supposed to wear shorts on stage when I'm doing comedy. When did comedy get this serious, by the way? When did we become the all-knowing, all-purposeful? Oh, you have to wear long pants. Sam Kinison wore a beret and a flasher's coat. Dice Clay ran around like he was Fonzie. Bill Cosby. Bill, hang on. Darlene is sending in a text that I have to read because Darlene is sexy as hell. And, God bless her and Steve. Because Steve can take a picture. If you can get a picture and get me in the picture without using a wide angle lens and not make me look like a goblin, you know what you're doing behind the lens, Steve. Okay, so let's see. She knows how horrible it is. Went from making a damn good salary for over $1,000 a week, and now she sits here on disability, expected to live off $1,000 a month. Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you, Dar. If you wanna do a bank heist or something, you let me know. I'm your guy. We'll get Julie Angelino or Randy Giovinazzo. God, I love that name. I love saying that name. Hi, Julie. Our former alpha female. Love you to death. But as I was saying, I was told this week that I'm not supposed to be wearing shorts on stage. It's against the rules. First off, as a comedian, I'm kind of an independent contractor, number one. And number two, go screw yourself, basically. I'll dress how I want, when I want, and if you don't want me on your stage, that's just fine, because I was on a stage, I won't say what club I was in. I was told we had to do a tight five because, the promoter managed to bring in 3 people because he really knows how to promote a room. And there were 3 people there, and I think 2 of them were lost because they live in Piscataway, New Jersey. And they were just, they happened to wander into the club in the middle of the city. And, we're told we're doing a tight five because we're going to get everybody on and off. So I get on, I hit all my high jokes. Hey, Joey White, what's going on, buddy? Hey, stick around, Joey, you should give us a call. What's the number here? 609 something or other. Anything?
609-807-2492. I'll put it on the screen, too.
There it is. He's going to put it on the screen. Because I want to, at some point, Joey, I want to talk about this Daniel Shaver incident. I want everyone to know, I know Joey White since he was a teenager and playing Babe Ruth baseball and Little League and all that. And he's grown up into a fine young man, and now he's a police officer. And, to say he's in the same category as a lunatic who pulled the trigger on Daniel Shaver is a miscarriage of justice. And to look at a kid like, good morning, Julie, look at a kid like Joey White or any other of the police officers on the Lyndhurst Police Department, who I happen to all, I know, and I've, whether I went to high school with them or I've coached with them or I've coached their kids, they're upstanding citizens. I have nothing but the ultimate respect for them. So I understand the gentleman in the Daniel Shaver incident is a lunatic and out of control, but that's one in a group of many. And I just want to say to the LPD, Lyndhurst Police Department, I support you guys. I'm behind you guys. I love every one of you. Get home safe, stay warm, and we're all pulling for you out here in Lyndhurst, even though I'm in Robbinsville, which is nowhere near Lyndhurst. It's nowhere near anything, really. But anyway, where was I? Oh, I was talking about not being told never. Hey, Aunt Betty. My Aunt Betty's watching.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Aunt Betty. We just went to her 70th birthday party a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, and she looks fabulous. She looks better than I've ever seen her. So, I'm very thrilled. Kathy Drake's watching. I think she's still here. Hi, Kathy. I get off track easy because, I'm fat and old, and I'm easily distracted by shiny things, like people's names. But as I was saying, I come up, I'm doing my acts in in this comedy club where I was told I'm not supposed to wear shorts, but I told them I'm wearing shorts anyway because you invited me 5 minutes beforehand. Well, maybe 3 hours beforehand. They were looking for comics. I said I'd come out and help because the guys producing the show, and I want to specify the guys producing the show, those three gentlemen are top notch in my book. I love them all. They're great guys. But the booker, the guy who books the room, not so much. He's got less than a stellar reputation, and so I get up there and I do my 5 minutes. I get on, I get off, and because I was told do a tight 5, so I hit all my high jokes and I get off. Well, not all of them, but several of them. And the next gentleman comes up and does like 15 minutes, which is about 10 minutes past the solid, strict 5 minutes we were supposed to be doing. Then the next person got up and did 10 minutes and ran the light by 3. And I said, you know what, I'm leaving, I'm out of here because you tell me one thing and everybody else has different rules. But at the end of the day, the 3 audience members that were packed into that place were laughing at everything I said, and everybody else maybe not so much. But I agree, Darlene. I should be able to wear whatever I want. I'm going to start going up there in a diaper. You're right, Darlene. This is America. At least I think there's an American flag. It is America. I'll tell you what, it took me so long to get here today. I'm pretty sure I thought I was driving into Iraq. There were so many people on the road. It was ridiculous. But, that's where that is. Now, this kid, what's his name? Michael Keaton or Alex Keaton or I hate black people Keaton because my mother hangs a Confederate flag up and is trying to get money from me. He comes out, he says he's being bullied. He's crying, he's getting coached. All these UFC guys come out. And when they find out what's going on, they look like they have egg on their face. But the UFC guys quickly backed out. Meanwhile, this kid raised like 50 grand or something. I'll be honest, I'll go outside right now and I'll let 3 or 4 black guys beat the shit out of me if someone's going to send me 50 grand. But, this is the problem. They look at that and everybody backs this kid up and it's a sign of bullying. And now, thanks to this kid, when somebody really does get bullied, people are going to be like, is he really bullied or is he pulling an Alex P. Keaton? What is he doing? What is it that's going on? So now people aren't going to trust people who are being bullied. Same thing with these girls who were running around screaming, me too, me too, me too. Well, what happened to you? Well, Donald Trump asked me for my phone number. And I felt compelled to give it to him. Really? Really, that's what you got? There are girls out there who have been beaten, raped, abused. Her name slips my mind, but the images of what happened to her never will. War Machine's girlfriend. That girl has a Me Too story. Okay? Because the president asked you for his phone number, that's not a Me Too story, honey. And if that's the best you got, go home and stay there. Nobody wants to hear from you. What's going on, Freddie? But anyway, getting back to where I'm going with this, there are instances where people are being bullied and it's real. And this week we lost a beautiful young lady, 23 years old, adult film star August Ames. She was a great girl. She was beautiful. I just started to catch on to her the last few weeks. Before all this happened, a friend of mine turned me on and said, hey, you got to watch this girl. And she is spectacular. She really was. And the fact that she came out and just said, hey, you shouldn't be sleeping. They want you to sleep with a gay guy. And she came out and specified that these, gay guys aren't tested the same way we are. Like the girls and who's ever working in straight porn is being tested regularly for any kind of venereal diseases, any STDs, and the gays pretty much in their private lives do whatever they want, and it's just a health issue. It's all it was, and she wasn't going, "Hey, don't sleep with him because he's gay." She was saying, "Don't sleep with him because he's gay and he may be carrying some kind of STD." And the gay community decided to all get on Twitter and verbally bash her and slut shame her and everything else until this poor girl who had depression issues to begin with took her own life. Anybody who was on that Twitter feed, anybody who said anything to her, honestly should be lined up, brought to prison, and left there, and where they can have all the gay sex they want, because this poor girl was basically chastised and bullied until she took her own life. Now, you want to talk about someone who was bullied? That's a legit bullying story that nobody wanted to be bothered with, because this little weird kid with the beat up face and the broken nose and everything else is being coached by his mother on what to say. Well, you know what? Don't start winging around the N-word around a bunch of black people unless you can take care of yourself. This kid obviously couldn't, so he caught a beating for it. I applaud them for giving him a beating. They should pick him up and give him another beat. And then the mothers of these kids should go and give the mother a beating for exploiting her son like that, because she's the lowest form of life I could ever see. John O'Rourke, what's going on, Johnny? Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah. We have the Daniel Shaver incident. Now, this poor guy, allegedly, I mean, from what we saw on video, my issue with this is the kid was crying. The kid was made to crawl like a dog. And the cop allegedly shot him, 4 or 5 times in the back of the head and everything. And he was laying there dead. What's up, Rob? As much as I look at it, and if this is, to me, it seems like a kooky story to try and come out against the police, because I got to think, if my partner is standing there and belittling a suspect who's doing everything I asked him and he's threatening to shoot him, I got to step in and say, dude, you got to calm down. I mean, that's just common sense, unless the partner is as much of a lunatic nutbag as he is. But this whole Daniel Shaver thing is out of control. Again, I don't wish to harp on it. I don't wish to come out against the police, because, again, I'm a big supporter of the police. Police, firemen, EMTs, EMSs, anybody who drives around with a siren on their car is okay by me. They put their lives on the line every day, and I can understand being cautious, but there's a difference between being cautious and being a psychotic lunatic. If this doesn't come out to be some kind of wacko left-wing or right-wing or propaganda story, and they don't see Daniel Shaver, like eating at a Bennigan's later this week, I got to think this guy needs to have the death penalty levied on him without a trial. I mean, you have all the videotape footage you need. Let's not waste money. Let's not waste time. Let's not waste everyone's time, the court's time, media's time. And, the Super Bowl's coming up. Just execute them at the halftime show. It's got to be better than whatever you're showing me. And it'll bring people back into football. People will get excited again for it. Oh, all right. Let's, before I jump into my critique of The Punisher, I'm going to read plugs on my, for all my paying customers who make this show possible every week. Let's start with my all-time favorite, a place I spend most of my time, my home away from home, Josie's Pizzeria, 228 Stuyvesant Ave. Give them a call, 201-933-1966. And if you're one of them weird people who can't talk on the phone, you can go to josie'spizzeria.com. And their whole menu is there, prices and everything. Hey, Mr. Anthony Scardino has just come in saying hello, telling me he loves me, and that is in a purely heterosexual alpha male sort of way. I think. Who knows? You're in class texting me. That's fantastic. I was on stage once and you called me, if you remember correctly. So, maybe that's why you don't call me anymore, because you're afraid I'm going to be on stage. Because if you call me now, I'm putting you on the air. Unfortunately, I can't put you on the air on my phone. So if you're calling in, 609-807-2492. But Anthony, on your way home, stop by, pick up some Josie's Pizzeria. Tell Sal I sent you, and you get the alpha male discount. And Sal will take care of you, hook you up. Nice thin sliced pizza, little bacon on it too. Oh, maron. Anyway, as Christmas draws nearer, you need to go to giuselabella.com for all your jewelry needs and that of little snowmen. I forget what she calls them, but they're little, small, SMO, small. Also, Mondays, the Uncomfortably Funny podcast, coming to you from Pet Cemetery Studios from 7 to 9 on Ustream. Tune in to Dave Hodjanowski, Shay Farrell, and Anthony Ennis. And this week, actually, if you pick up episode 57, you'll see me on there ranting and going nuts. Oh, I said it. Here's why I gave a headache. My friend Sue just said, I said it so fast, all she heard was 609, couldn't call if she wanted to. Hey, Susie Q, I love you dearly. But if you look right underneath me, under all the Christmas lights, 609-807-2492. It's written right there. So if you want to give us a call, give us a holler. We can give you the would you or wouldn't you, and you can listen into the alpha male and female if you'd like. Also tonight, Animal House Radio with Paul Veneer, the Comedy Tomato, Carlo Wild Thing Valerio, Gisela Bella, Shay Farrell, Dave Hodjanowski, and myself will all be on interviewing the legendary, the great, the man who looks at a woman and says, you are a good-looking piece of wool, Joe Montagna. What a man.
Oh, you want to?
Hey, Gisela Bella's just walked in the room, bouncing all over the place, all done up and did. There's my buddy Paul, the Comedy Tomato Veneer. And Wild Thing, Carlo Valerio in studio with us. Now everybody's here. You missed out by a day since Paul is here. I just went over the whole Daniel Shaver scenario. I also bashed that Alex P. Keaton kid who got a beating for saying, throwing the N-word around. And then he caught a beating for a big surprise. But we don't hear anything about August Ames, who was extremely sexy. Everyone, welcome to Gisela Bella over here.
Hello.
Along with my buddy Paul Veneer.
Hello.
Now things are getting
I love his
interesting.
shirt. Isn't it hot?
Thanks. So who was the alpha male of the week?
We haven't gotten an alpha male yet,
Oh, okay.
but I think you're going to be quite pleased with the alpha male of the week.
I'm sure I will. I've liked every one of your picks so far.
I'll tell you what.
I heard
This,
it's SpongeBob.
Isn't it
you know what?
Christmassy?
That is Christmassy.
She's Mrs. Claus.
She is.
He looks good.
Oh, thanks.
And look at him pouring vodka inside the Snapple.
It was the cardboard. It did
It was Jack Daniels.
a great job.
I searched high and low for that cardboard. That's high grade cardboard.
That was the funniest thing. I'm like, there's no way Paul forgot that he said he was going to get me cardboard.
And you kept on
I'm like-
bringing it up too. And I
I'm
was
like,
saying,
I'm
oh,
saying,
I forgot all about
I'm
it.
thinking, is he getting old? No.
Oh, God, I know I'm getting old.
Did you bring your bills here now too?
Oh, no.
They were in the book. I was running so late. The traffic is so horrible out there. Oh, God, I don't pay him anyway. Just saved a little envelope. This one gets me a 10% discount on my oil.
Are you related to Carlo Valerio?
Tell us if you're what?
He doesn't pay
Oil?
his bills either.
No, but we're Italians.
Oh, okay.
Bills are just a suggestion, people. They're not really.
Oh,
I
okay.
I went over that earlier in the show how greedy corporations are destroying America, and that people can't afford to pay their bills. Not they don't want to, they just can't. They don't have the money.
But if
to
you
do
don't
it.
pay your bills, they'll take money out of your checking account or stop your pay.
Well,
$3 off your oil change. There you go.
Awesome.
hey, it's for $60 oil change. It's down to 57.
$60.
I know.
Wow.
Why is it so expensive?
I have synthetic oil. In my
Oh,
car.
excuse
But it-
us.
Hey, I only have to change it once every 5,000 miles.
Oh, okay.
So, yay me.
Yeah, you.
Steve is working on his acceptance speech for the Alpha Male of the Week. Sadly enough, it's not him. It was close, Steve. You were definitely in the running. You're definitely on the list of possibilities.
Oh, wow.
But this week's Alpha Male, loved the guy, thought he was a fun guy, great singer.
He's a fun guy. He's a mushroom.
Well, now he is. Now he is, because I'm talking about Pat D'Annunzio.
Aw.
Alpha Male of the Week, lead singer to Smithereens.
Yeah, good choice.
Sadly passed away this year at 62 years of age.
That is so sad.
I feel the need to stay bonded with fellow fat guys. And it broke my heart to see Pat went down this week. And,
Fellow fat guys.
yeah. And
So you must love Santa Claus.
That was sad.
Santa Claus is my favorite. I can't hear Carla. You can get on a microphone with everyone else.
This is your show. I don't want to impede.
You already impeded when you walked in the door.
Yeah. It's now become the Animal House radio show. You might as well just grab a mic.
I want you to have your own identity.
He does have his own identity.
I do. I'm the fat guy on the Animal House radio show who reads the news.
He's one of a kind. No one's going to
This is the Alpha Male show.
It's the Alpha Male show. You're always welcome. Everyone's always welcome to sit down, tune in, chime in, your thoughts and ideas and everything else. And if you bring pizza, even better. Are all appreciated and look forward to.
It's very Christmassy in here.
It is.
Do you like
Good
the
job.
tree, by the way?
I love it.
You should have seen the moon before there's a tree.
Look, the tree. I actually put the tree up. I
Did
mean,
you? Did you
yeah.
put it up on the
See
leaning
how
tower?
crooked it is? 'Cause I'm
That's the
short?
leaning tower of Pisa up there.
Do you see how short I am? I can't reach the top.
Well, since I did the Alpha Male, now it's going to be time to do the Alpha Female.
Ooh, female.
Now, a lot of you might not know who she is.
It must be a dancer.
Yes, it is. That is
She's
correct.
A private dancer.
I got to say, whenever I'm picking out the Alpha Female,
Right.
the first thing I do is I look to exotic dancers. I always do, because I think they are what can save this country. People need to start going back to strip clubs, start spending a little bit of money on them. These girls are going to make a lot of people a lot happier than the miserable curs that they are. Everybody's angry and in a bad mood. They got nothing better to do than talk about politics and everything else. Go see your friendly neighborhood stripper, get a lap dance, and tell all your friends about it. So there really has to be,
I have no reply to that.
in order.
Oh, really?
Well, not because I will want to, not because I don't have one.
As,
You're a gent.
as I was saying, another woman would have to really step up and do something extraordinary to knock a dancer off of this list,
Okay.
in my eyes. And this week that didn't happen. This week's Alpha Female of the Week, Entertainer of the Year, gorgeous girl, dances out in Michigan. If you're out there, go to Kalamazoo's Gentleman Club.
Jenna Jameson.
I wish it was Jenna Jameson, but she's in California,
Okay.
and she's a multimillionaire. She doesn't dance.
That's right.
Oh, no.
But you know what? She's definitely on the list of Alpha Females to be named soon.
Yep.
But right now, this week, I love this girl. She's one of the most intelligent girls I've ever had a conversation with. She has, she's actually a rare breed where she's a liberal. She has a lot of liberal ideas, but I can have conversations with her because she doesn't get angry at you.
That's good.
She actually talks to you and brings her point across.
Good. She doesn't scream at you. That's good.
She doesn't scream at you. She doesn't call you an idiot. She doesn't call you names. When you talk to her about something, she actually has an intelligent conversation with you,
That's all you ask for.
which is all we ask for. If you want to change people's minds, it starts with intelligent conversations,
Mhm.
not telling them to go kill themselves. Trump is a jerk off. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
But this girl, Alpha Female of the Week, the lovely Aria Moon.
I don't know who that is.
No, you don't, but I will show you pictures of her later.
I like the
when I'm
name.
on Facebook.
I like the name.
He
You
loves
will
the name.
trust me when I tell you, you will love the body.
I'm sure I will.
You will love the body. She's got like the preamble or something tattooed on her body.
Oh, that's good. So you can read the Constitution at the same
Yes,
time.
while I'm having sex with her, I can read up on
Yes.
literature.
So here, what's my Bill of Rights?
Yes. She truly is an amazing woman.
Are all men created equal?
Yes,
I just want to know, is Ed Ruffalo going to be on the news next?
at some point probably.
I'll have to step down.
I'll be honest, I'm a little shocked. I'm
You
not.
are wearing the orange, so I'm not sure.
I am. Well, you know, I look like this. I'm the size of the sun, so I should try and look like it. But this is the retirement day for this jersey.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Aw.
So this girl is for the people, by the people.
she's for something, but she's she could be by my people anytime she likes.
That's it. I like it.
So cool.
Now, we've already.
She has a strong constitution.
Yes, she does.
And she makes great points,
She does.
too.
Yes.
Oh, she got more than 2 points.
Oh,
I like to amend her.
Yes.
Amend her over.
That's fantastic. We're going to switch gears now that we've done alpha male and alpha female. And we're going to go, has anyone else wants a Punisher on Netflix?
no.
No. Let me tell you, get yourself some Netflix. If you don't like superhero movies, watch The Punisher anyway.
The Punisher? Okay.
Punisher.
It is just off the hook. The Punisher it's got everything you want.
Who's in it?
I forget his name. The dude who played Shane on The Walking Dead
Oh, okay.
is the Punisher.
All right.
And he's
It's like a revenge type movie, or is it one?
well, the Punisher is his family was murdered.
Okay.
His wife and kids were murdered
Right.
by.
So it's like a Death Wish kind of movie,
Kind of, but
Yeah.
it's not even. He's a superhero.
Becomes like a vigilante
He's a
superhero.
vigilante superhero.
Okay. I love those kind of movies.
And you'll love. It's a series. It's about 10 episodes, 12 episodes, and it's worth watching. It's brutal. There's times in there when it's just brutal and blood gory, and
I like
the
it.
plot is phenomenal. You'll love it.
I like those kind of movies.
Yeah.
I love Steven Seagal movies. I love the John Wick movies. I
Yeah.
love all those kind of movies. I love those kind
They're
of.
great.
Equalizer was great.
The Punisher is actually
I like that.
above and beyond some of those. It gets to a point of just him pounding on people and he takes a beating.
What's his superpower? Does he have a superpower?
He's just a guy.
Oh, just got like a Batman
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a former Marine. He's got all kinds of Marine training, and
Right.
he was a special ops,
Right.
and he's just he can just take a beating. You hammer the Punisher, and he just keeps coming after you.
It's great. I bought this in the Charger. I realized it's a car charger. It's not gonna help.
Well, just Carlo, go get the car and pull it up. Paul wants to charge his car.
I gotta charge my phone. I bought
He's
the
got to
right
charge
charger.
his phone. Just bring the car
I
up
think
here.
there's a USB port. that you can-
All right, where are we? At 10-2. Okay, we're gonna do real quick.
When is Janine Pirro gonna be alpha or female of the week?
Who?
Judge Janine Pirro.
Oh, she should be.
You know, yeah.
She's a great vote.
That's a good one. I'm gonna have to put her on the list. I'm sure at some point she got added to the list, but that's in the old notebook.
like the setup. I like this.
Oh, good.
I feel like I'm in an auditorium
Fun. That'd be fun.
in the Congress.
I feel like I'm in prison. Hey, speaking of prison, this is a funny story that I got to tell everybody. I have a friend who's not really a friend. He's
An acquaintance.
I know him.
I know a guy.
I know a guy, and he doesn't bother going to court because he's a buffoon. He's got an outstanding warrant.
Oh, no.
I mean, it wasn't the end of the world. He has an
Are
outstanding
you
warrant.
staring at the guy?
You talking about Carlo?
No,
That guy Justin that we talked about last week?
Just in
No.
time.
From the story?
Timberlake?
No, that guy that you knew from Lyndhurst that was.
Oh no, it wasn't him. This is even better. Oh, now Mike Biddy is watching. Where were you at the beginning of the show when I was all over the company for laying me off for Christmas Day, Mr. Biddy?
Yeah, you bastard.
Laying me off for Christmas. You're lucky I love you. I love you to pieces, Mike.
Douchebag.
Yeah, you're a complete douchebag.
He said lovingly.
Yes, I mean that lovingly.
In the Christmas spirit.
But I will tell you, I got a bit of a stomach flu, so I'll make sure I come up tomorrow before I leave. Because tomorrow's my last day. I'm going to give you a big hug, kiss, and I'm going to lick your phone and your face and everything else. Because you laid me off, so I didn't get paid for the Christmas holiday. You Scrooge. It's like you're like Bill Murray without the personality.
Oh, he's going to get visited by 3.
Yes, you have 3 ghosts coming to visit you. Me, Jim Gow, and John Newtown all going to visit you. And you know as well as I do, you don't want to visit from us 3. Jim is obnoxious, and John's just a monster. John, remember Better Off Dead when that monster beat up John Cusack as the Rhino? Well, that's John. John is the monster that grabs you and just goes, never, 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 never. And that's how Big John is. I love Big John.
Big Bad John. Big John.
So let's, as we're drawing near, real quick, I'm going to run over the plugs again. Josie's Pizzeria, give them a call, 201-933-1966, 228 Stuyvesant Ave in Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
Great food.
Or go to josiespizza.com. Check out the menu, put an order together. Sal would probably prefer you did that way so we didn't have to talk to you. Because people always go, is Sal there? Yeah, he's there. Give me your order. Also, go to GiselleLaBella.com for all your jewelry needs and your little fluffy things.
You little fluffy things.
You know, fluffy things that you do. Also, the Uncomfortably Funny podcast on out of Pet Cemetery Studios with Dave Hodjanowski, Shay Farrell, and Anthony Ennis. Tune into last Monday's episode on Ustream, where I was present, burning bridges. As I often do when I go on that show, they call it the Burning Bridges segment. Also tonight, at around 8:30, tune into Animal House Radio, where Carlo Wild Thing Valerio, Paul Comedy Tornado Vernier, Gisela Bella, Dave Hodjanowski, Shay Farrell, and myself, Big Fat Ed, looking like the sun, will all be interviewing the legendary, the man who thinks women look like a good piece of wool, Joe Montana. Love that guy. Can't wait to interview him tonight.
And Bill Kinnison, too.
Yep.
Oh, yes, that's right. Bill Kinnison will be with us. Sam's brother. Always good to hear from him. Love his brother. His brother was a legend in the business.
Yep.
I'll always look up to his brother, and Bill is a great guy.
There's a special on Tuesday of Sam's life. It's special.
Right, I Am Sam is coming out this Tuesday on Spike TV. Right, can't wait to watch that. Everybody tune into that. That'll definitely be worth the
price of admission.
Let's hope so. Now, real quick, with a mere 5 minutes remaining in the show, let's remember that Christmas is coming, and it'll be here before we know it. I'm putting together a song that I'm going to talk to you about, Paul, for next week. So you may want to bring your guitar.
For next week, okay.
Yeah, because it should be quite ridiculous, I must say. And it'll be very alpha male-like. And since everybody else will be here singing.
Are you going to wear a Christmas Hawaiian shirt?
I have a Christmas Hawaiian shirt.
See?
It's green with Santa Clauses on it and, surfing and surfboards and all that stuff.
It's Blue Hawaii Christmas.
Yes. Well, it's green, but that's okay. So Mike Biddy kind of checked in and then checked out once he heard I was talking to him. He usually does that.
He'd like to be talked to?
Yeah, well, not by me. He doesn't mind being talked to by people, just not me. And not when I'm yelling at him for laying me off.
No.
Which, again, I'm fine with being laid off because that's what our company does.
What you should do is to get back at him, have him call in and then hang up on him.
I should. I should just tell him to call in on Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't know who's here on Thursday. So I'm calling in.
Who's this? Mike, boom. Click.
Who are you?
Show me the number on it.
Well, I'll give you the company number later. Everyone can call them and just make fun of them.
What business is he in?
We're in the roofing inside.
Unless we'd have everybody put place orders and cancel.
Yeah.
Get bids. Everybody needs bids on shingles and stuff.
That would be great, except everyone's painting on shingles. I'll have to pick all the orders. And then everything will be canceled, so I'll have to put them back.
Oh, jeez.
So that's a nightmare.
Well, you cancel it right at the order.
That's not as much fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun when you waste everybody's time. Unfortunately, it's my time you'll be wasting. Wait until I'm officially laid off, then order them, and I'll make sure this guy Roger picks everything, and then he'll have to put them all back, and he'll hang himself. He'll definitely hang from a tree.
That's Christmassy.
Yes, it is. You know, he's like an ornament.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Colombian ornament. Him and his brother are the only two Colombians I know who don't deal in drugs or coffee.
That you know of.
No, I've asked them 100 times. They say, you got coffee?
Oh, they're going to say, oh, yes, we do.
Well, how else are you going to drum up business?
Not drugs and not coffee either? Well, maybe they deal with neckties. Colombian neckties.
That's true. Probably not. These guys are about 4 foot tall between the two of them. They're like, you know what they are? They're like twins, like with Schwarzenegger and DeVito,
Right.
except they're both DeVito.
Both DeVito. Okay.
Yeah, they're both DeVito.
It's a good title for something. They're both DeVito.
Yeah. All I need is 2 midget Italians. I think I can pull that off. All right. So, anybody thankful for anything this Christmas?
Still here.
We're still here.
Literally, right?
Still here.
I'm not so sure I'm thankful about that because if I wasn't here, I'd be somewhere else. If I was somewhere else, I couldn't be here.
Well, I'm thankful that we all made it on iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
I'm very thrilled. That's right, Gisela, bringing up the fact that Animal House Radio will now be broadcast on iHeartRadio.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
You
That's
know,
big.
sometime over the summer, I was offered to stay in Richmond, Virginia, and everyone remembers that. And what did I tell everybody? I'm not staying because I'm coming back because big things are going to happen with Animal House Radio,
You had faith
and
from
I
the
want to be a
beginning.
part of it.
You should go way more often.
You came home because the food sucked.
No, he had faith.
Yeah, the
from
food
very
sucked too. I
beginning.
give you that. But I'll tell you what, the Bojangles chicken kind of grew on me. The pizza was awful though.
But see, you going away gave us good luck, so you should go away more often.
No.
I wasn't here last week.
No.
Nothing good happened. Well, that could happen. We got the news last week, so that's actually
There you
something
go.
good.
Eddie Clark was here. That's got to be a
Eddie
step up.
Clark.
Yeah, that was good.
You know, it shows our diversity when we have Eddie Clark on.
Yeah,
Yes.
just one more nut to the bunch.
Yes. All right, that is all we have here at the Alpha Male Show this week. Everybody, tune in next week, the 20th, for the combined Alpha Male Animal House Radio Holiday Christmas Party.
Yeah.
And it's going to be off the hook. We're going to have a ton of talent in the building.
Yep.
We're going to have a little bit of segments from the Alpha Male Show, some more segments from Animal House Radio. We're going to have a bunch of talented singers and I don't know what else they do.
Plus, we're videotaping the whole party, so we might
Yeah.
have some really classic
Literally.
moments that I'm going to be able to edit down to.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a classic moment. I'm going to give you a classic moment from last year's Christmas party.
There's a lot of
There was one that I'll never forget,
What's that?
and it's something that I will put in my head.
Your memory bank?
It was something I will keep in my memory bank, and I will tell someone one day. I was standing around, I was having a conversation with you and Craig Lloydgren right out in the hallway,
Right, I remember that.
and you guys started talking about being with legends of comedy.
Right.
Andy Kaufman, working with him, working with, I forget who else you guys were with. I believe it was Jim Carrey, Sam Kinison, whoever you guys
Right.
were all with. And I was chiming in on the conversation here and there, but I don't have the experience that you guys have.
Right.
And I sat back and I said to myself, you know what? Shut up. Stand here and listen to them. Because one day you're going to be having a conversation with somebody and talking about the legends of comedy, and I'll say I was there talking to Paul Veneer and Craig Lloyd.
Wow, that's not very
Aw.
much to say.
That was
That's,
nice.
that's not good.
That's very nice.
You guys are legends.
No,
but,
we're not.
whether you know it or
No, I
not,
don't think
Well, Paul Veneer's like you are, and
No.
look,
you
just
have a
because,
nickname. You're like the Godfather of
Just
comedy. That's
just
your
because
nickname.
you're not as well known as Amy Schumer,
He doesn't
and
want to be a
Louis
legend
CK.
because he's only 16. So
Oh, he's a very young
No, I
legend.
appreciate it, but I don't think myself.
yeah.
No legend ever goes, you know what, I'm a legend in the business.
I would never
No.
think of myself that way.
No one would, but I'll tell you what. I would take, and I said this on the Uncomfortably Funny podcast on Monday night. I'll say it again here. I would take our comedians from New Jersey, Gerald Benford, Stephen Buda, Paul Veneer, Craig Lloydgren, Mike Sicoli, and I'd put them up against any of them $3 hacks up in New York City who can't shine their shoes. New Jersey is, and you guys can say whatever you'd like, New Jersey is the hotbed of comedy right now. We're better than anybody in California. We're better than the guys in New York. And New Jersey deserves all the credit because those guys are just the funniest guys in the world. If you put all those guys I just mentioned on one show,
it's a long fucking show.
That's a long show. Paul, your show's by themselves.
My show's at least 3 hours.
Yeah, your show's 3 hours as it is.
To have 2 weeks.
But there would not be one moment of downtime during that show.
That would be fun.
That would be a great show. Yeah. Funniest guys on the planet. They might be unknown, predominantly unknown comics in the big Hollywood picture of things. But on the circuit, everywhere else, these are the best comics in the world, period. I'd put them up against Louis C.K. and all the rest
Especially
of them.
right now.
Well, come on. The best thing he ever did was whipping out and jerk off in front of girls. Other than that, he really wasn't entertaining. That's when he became entertaining to me.
There is a lot of funny guys out there, though. A lot of funny people out there, women and guys that are very, very funny and don't have the notoriety. There is a lot of people out there.
There are.
No doubt about it. I've known people for a long time that should have made it a long time ago, didn't make it. You know, they're just very, very funny. It's just the way it is. It's the nature of business.
You know, you have to be able to promote yourself as well as be funny.
Yeah. All the talent does for you is that when you get a break, if you get a break, the talent will make you last.
Yeah.
If you're not talented, you'll be a flash in the pan, you'll be gone. But as far as making it, talent doesn't enter into that. It's really a lot of variables that influence making it.
You know, I was watching. There's a show called The Stand-Ups on Netflix.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And it's got like 6 comics on it.
Right.
And I'm watching it, and this one gentleman who I can't recall his name because I was nodding in and out as he was doing his act is actually on Netflix. Right. Pulling out, and he's going.
He's reading from a sheet.
He's reading from a sheet, and he's on Netflix. I'm like, really? This guy's reading from a sheet on Netflix.
Ed, that doesn't. You can pay to be on Netflix. It's not like they sought him out.
Like it was years ago. If you have 10 grand, you can have a Netflix special. So don't don't get too carried away with it because.
Suppose you only have 5 grand.
You get Comedy Central $10,000, you can have a special.
Yeah.
They don't. It's all about money.
What do you get for $2,000?
Whereas somebody, see, that's what these people think. They're always on Netflix. He's got to be.
I just looked at him. I said, "This guy's on Netflix, and he's reading off a card." I get that you can pay to be on Netflix, but if you have to read off a sheet, why are you on Netflix?
Well, it's not going to last. That'll,
right?
It's going to be a short-lived thing. But you go, oh, remember me on Netflix?
Yeah. You're the guy who had to read all your jokes.
Exactly.
Way to go. I almost didn't catch that you were reading all your jokes because every time you started, I started taking that.
You know who actually, I think, improved a lot? You're going to disagree. James Camacho.
I haven't seen James in quite some time.
Yeah.
I love James. He's a good guy.
Really cool.
He's a little full of himself, James.
Well, he's been getting a little bit.
If you're going to keep running into the city, you keep going up on stage.
He was on Kevin. He was on that show, too.
What show?
Kevin Can Wait.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so
just recently, and he had a few.
That and a quarter will get you a seat on the bus.
Doesn't matter for a young man to just
quarter.
Start. That's not
let me tell you something. I'll give you an example. And I've worked with James a bunch. I know him. He's a nice enough guy, and I like James. Nothing against him.
He's a young man.
Jessica Liebert went to a what's her name? Lisa Lampanelli concert. And her boyfriend they're sitting front row. Boyfriend got her front row tickets. And he goes, hey, my girlfriend's a comic. Lisa Lampanelli brought her up on stage, let her do a minute, and then critiqued her stuff, which kind of made me laugh because Lisa Lampanelli tell her, well, you don't really have to curse in your act. I'm like, really? You were telling someone not to curse in their act. But anyway, she gets up there. She does a minute. The girl is on cloud nine. You know, I got to perform on stage with Lisa Lampanelli. That's
right.
You know, that's phenomenal.
It's not the same thing, but okay.
No, but it's still, hey, look what I did.
Right.
And James Camacho goes, it's not going to do anything for a career. It's not a big deal.
Even though he's right.
Well, he's right, but you don't say it to her.
Yeah, it's not
nice.
It's not nice to say.
It, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be rude about it.
Did he actually say it to her, or he said it about her?
Well, we were all there.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of comic, and you know me, I'm rough. There's lots of comics that are getting work, and I don't understand it.
Well, because they bring
I was gonna
5,000
say,
people
you
with
have
them.
to bring,
You know what? Anybody that does bringers is a sucker.
It's very
Well,
clicky.
I'll
too,
tell you
remember,
what,
too.
you should watch the beginning of the Alpha Male show because I'm gonna get off so we can prep for Animal House. But if you watch the beginning, I did a show this week at Eastville, and what happened at Eastville was just—it's a little bit of a long-winded story.
Was it a train wreck, to say the least?
Well, we have more people here than they had audience members.
That's why
Oh,
it's
no.
not even worth it. You spend more money just getting there.
Yeah,
And the problem is these people, they do it for the prestige and they think it's real.
yeah,
And it's not.
not.
I don't want to burst nobody's bubble, but
but it's not real.
you ain't, unless you got a show on TV, you ain't performing in the city.
Yeah,
It took me years to get past that clubs. It don't just years ago. Paul could go up to Silver Friedman and say, "Hey, I got a buddy of mine doing comedy. Want to give him 5 minutes?" It was easier back then.
Right.
Nowadays, forget about it.
well, the thing is, the producer the guy producing the show said, "Hey, look, I need comics. 3 of my comics bailed." Now, he's a friend of mine. I like the guy. I said, "Look, you need my help? I'll come out." He goes, "Yeah, if you could bring somebody, because my bringers all bailed. If you could bring somebody," I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll see what I can do." I didn't do anything, to be honest with you. I asked my boss. I said, "You want to come to the show in Eastville tonight?" He goes, "No." I said, "I didn't think so." And I did try, but in my defense, he asked me at 4:30, and the show
Right.
was at 7.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I didn't have enough time to even ask a couple of my friends if they wanted to go.
It's good if you want to. For you, it's good if you want stage time for chops.
Well,
But that's about the only value that has.
to me, the only value it has. A buddy of mine needed a hand,
Right.
and I gave it to him.
Right. You help somebody out.
That's how I look at it.
Hopefully, when you need it, he'll reciprocate one day.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I love him to death. He's working with 2 other guys. I love them too, even though one of them I think hates my guts.
Right.
But that's okay. The other guy who's booking the shows and running the room gave me all kinds of shit about how I'm dressed.
Ah.
I think I heard.
This is another guy that belongs on a hook next to Frankie Carbone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the words exchanged weren't pleasant.
We're not pleasant.
And then my time got cut while everybody else was doing more time.
See, when you run into them people, you just open hand smack them and knock them out.
Yeah.
And they won't give you any more
You had a
shit.
problem too with the dress
called-
code with someone.
That's called burning the bridge.
Oh, yeah. But I put him in their place.
Oh, that bridge is burned.
I put
Well,
him
let
in
me
their
tell you,
place.
that guy doesn't like anybody on the Uncomfortably Funny podcast, Anthony, Shay, Dave. He doesn't like them. He won't work with them.
Right.
And he damn well knows I'm on that show. I'm like the 4th member of that show. Whenever they don't have somebody,
You
they
were.
ask me in. I must have done that show. They have 57 episodes. I must have did 30 episodes. And there's no way this guy didn't know who I was.
It's like the 5th Beatle.
Yeah, that's funny. That's what Dave said.
That's fine.
But yeah, let me get out of here. This way we can prep for Animal House Radio.
All right.
And maybe Gene could actually play my exit music.
I got it ready.
Everybody tune in next week, the 20th, for our combined Alpha Male Animal House Radio Christmas
Spectacular.
Spooktacular,
Spooktacular.
because it's spooky.
Ready?
Waiting on you.
The hell is that? There it is. Well, I was gonna ask you if you can stop that, but you know, you have a fire, maybe you can do it. Maybe you didn't either. Yeah, I'm starving too.
Marlo, could you do me a favor?
Yeah, but in the studio, yeah.
Big one.
They're like 4 pies.
I feel bad to ask you.
What do you want?
Not
4
bad.
point pies.
I feel bad to ask you.
Give out 4 pies. Good question is the one not asked.
No, I left my water in the car.
Put them on.
There's water here.
About 4 pies.
Yeah? Is it cold?
Yeah, it's in the fridge.
Like 4. About 4.
I filled up my box
The
as I ran out.
Yeah, about 4 pies. Yeah.
Am I off?
That's
Jeez.
my wife's story.
Are you ordering pizza? On my